We have finally made it. Day one of the FIFA World Cup. Mexico starting this party off with a bang, too. We'll have a live report on the local reaction to that victory ahead. But first, the theme here in Houston, it's a day of arrivals. Newest video in. Democratic Republic of the Congo arriving earlier this afternoon at Bush Airport, calling Houston home for as long as it's in this tournament. The team's endured a long road to get here. First time in more than 50 years this country has qualified for a World Cup. After arriving at Bush, the team making its way to its hotel in the Galleria area. This group also gaining attention for what's happening off the field. Obviously, the Ebola outbreak in the country. And then here's the scene from inside the hotel, the squad's training camp. We should also mention previously moved to Belgium in order to meet a 21-day quarantine period. And a pre-tournament match this week against Chile was played without spectators in France. And now, as mentioned at the start, Mexico kicking off the World Cup with a win 2-0 over South Africa, that match in Mexico City, while one celebration was here in Houston at Pitch 25 in Edo. Ortiz is and has been all afternoon. Luis, tell us what the big takeaway, your big takeaway is from this opening win.
Yeah, Jason, my big takeaway is that, look, Mexico finally, after 8 previous World Cup opening matches, now the 9th one today, they finally got their first win in a World Cup opening match. The previous 8, they had resulted in 6 losses and 2 draws, and Mexico did it by dominating this game. Look, they started off very well, scoring at the 9th minute, the first goal of the game. Julian Quiñones being the one that scored that first goal, capitalizing on a mistake by South Africa, but they imposed their game. They showed that they have chemistry. They showed that they have an idea of the way that they want to play, touching the ball well and creating chances. They had 16 total shots, 4 of them on goal, and Raul Jimenez eventually scoring the second goal of the match. An emotional one because a few years ago, while playing in the Premier League with Wolverhampton, he suffered a severe head injury that ruled him out from the sport for a while. Now he wears, if you watch the game or you see any video of any game that he plays in the Premier League, he wears this protective gear on the side of his head because of a severe injury that he suffered in the past. And then today, he scores with a header. So a very emotional goal for Raul Jimenez. Mexico showing that, look, they created chances, but they have to be able to execute and finish them more precisely in order to score more goals. They should have won by more today.
And now when looking back at this game, who or what was the X factor in your mind?
Yeah, the X factor I think was Julian Quiñones, who was named the man of the match. He was very aggressive. There was at times that I thought that maybe he was a little bit too aggressive. Around the 18th minute, he took a shot that just went over the crossbar. You can say, okay, it was a threat, but he actually had a play that he could have made. He could have passed the ball, and one of his teammates kind of got upset at him because if he would have put the through ball, maybe it would have ended in a goal. So he did that a couple of times where he just kind of maybe seemed like he was a little bit eager to score. He did get 1 goal today, but he definitely was the difference maker for Mexico today.
So now let's talk about what impressed you, and I believe I have an idea what was disappointing to you about this performance by Mexico.
Yeah, Jason, I think, I touched it on it a little bit in the beginning as far as saying Mexico, they created chances. You have to recognize that, look, they were there knocking on the door. The disappointment or, maybe the constructive criticism we can say is that they have to be better at finishing those chances. They have to be able to put the ball in the net because whenever they do end up advancing to the knockout stage and they face, more a competition that's at a higher level, then you can't let those chances go by. You have to capitalize on them.
It is still popping there at Edo. And pitch 25, that is Luis Ortiz on the ball. Luis, thank you. And now it's time for the kickoff as we are weaving through the cables and cameras to meet tonight's special guest. And right now we are kicking things off with Ben Williams, head soccer coach at the University of Houston. The women's team, of course. Good to see you. How are you feeling? Yeah, how are you feeling about the World Cup now underway?
It's exciting. A couple of days and we're here, and it's I mean, something that's been waiting a long time, right? It's a 8-10 year process, and when it's finally here, it's
here.
Exciting.
It's here.
It's exciting. It's
All right,
exciting.
Let's start with this. When we look at some of the teams and the matches ahead, which ones are you most looking forward to watching and analyzing how they progress through pool play?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to be unbiased here and not choose England.
Okay.
But we'll be okay. I think probably a big one is Norway.
Interesting.
V France in pool play. I think obviously Norway has one of the best strikers in the world right now in Haaland, and France are absolutely stacked with players, with Mbappe and Lise. It's I think this one's going to be a very, very good game. Really, if France contain one of the best strikers in the world and then France's attack is unbelievable. So I think this one, especially in pool play, will be a really good game.
What about England? We noticed the accent a little bit.
Yeah, originally from Liverpool, so England made some interesting choices. I think they're going to struggle to create chances. There's some very contentious decisions in there without Phil Foden and Carl Palmer. I think might struggle to create chances, but it's how much we can get Harry Kane in the box and see if we can score goals. I don't think we'll go as far as we have done in the previous couple of tournaments, but we'll see.
But that's why they play the games.
Yes, absolutely.
And before the show, you told me the players you have your eyes on. One you've already mentioned, Harry Kane, England's captain, and then Bruno Fernandes of Portugal. What is it about Kane, and what does he have to do for England to truly exceed your expectations?
Yeah, I think the big frustration last couple of tournaments with Kane is he drops into midfield so much, and again, he's the European Golden Boot winner. He scored the most goals in Europe this year, so trying to get him close to goal as much as possible is probably a good idea. So trying to get him in the box as much as possible would be a massive thing. He loves to drop in and play make, but hopefully he can figure out something to actually get him closer to goal as much as possible.
And what about this man stands out to you?
Yeah, it hurts me to say it because I'm not a Man United fan, but he's had an unbelievable year. Broke the Premier League record in assists. So I think he is someone that is going to be absolutely enormous for Portugal. Obviously, there might be someone else who plays for Portugal that's got quite a big name. But Ronaldo's going to live off Bruno Fernandes. And if Bruno Fernandes plays well, that means Ronaldo's going to play well. And the whole team will just revolve around Bruno Fernandes.
But what happens if they don't? What happens then?
I think they may struggle a little bit. I think it's going to go through those two players. Portugal have got some really, really big players, but if they can't get this guy on the ball with time and space, they may struggle somewhere else. But if they can get him on the ball with time and space, they're going to be dangerous, really dangerous.
So Ben mentioned the other player to watch for Portugal. No surprise, huh? Now here is Alicia Lewis with more on that.
Cristiano Ronaldo is definitely a player to watch. At 41, Sports Illustrated called him the highest paid athlete in the world. He pulls in $225 million a year in salary and another $50 million in endorsements. He has 143 international goals coming into this tournament, a world record. He currently plays for Saudi Pro League Al Nassr, but the Portuguese native is going to represent his home country. At 15 years old, Ronaldo was diagnosed with a racing heart, requiring laser surgery. And get this, he returned to training just days later. And one more interesting note, unlike many of his fellow soccer players, Ronaldo doesn't have any tattoos because he regularly donates blood and plasma.
And with the matches coming to Houston, which one or ones would you recommend fans here try to see in person?
Yeah, I think probably the best one in terms of quality on both ends is probably going to be this one.
That's a popular one.
It's definitely going to be this one. I think the other thing about this is the Dutch travel in mass numbers. Like, it is super, super cool to see. Streets will be filled with orange. I think they've just shipped over their big bus as well. Yep. I think I've seen it coming off the port. So this one is going to be a really good game. Obviously, arguably the greatest player ever. We won't get into that argument, but obviously these two are going to be huge because you do get to see Ronaldo, which is very, very rare. And I do think Portugal will also be really, really good as well. So I think, and obviously the one that will go in with the knockout round is projected. If Brazil win their group, which they should, that will be one that'll be super cool because they'll be playing the round of 32 game in Houston.
I will put an X here, and then we almost have played tic-tac-toe.
Exactly.
Look at that.
Exactly.
We almost played tic-tac-toe after all of that. And Ben, let's move to your program, your first season.
Yep.
U of H, Houston women, first winning season since 2021 with a 7-4-7 record. Did this group meet your expectations coming into the season?
Yeah, I think we didn't have really the expectation is what we wanted was it's not going to be an easy game against Houston, and people know who Houston are now. So I think we met expectations in that way. We were real close against a couple of top 10 teams in the nation, so it was a really, really good step in such a short amount of time. So we were happy at the end of the season, obviously not happy where we wanted to be, but we're happy from where we started, no doubt.
Looking at your team, allowing the fewest goals by the program since 2010, I believe. What defines your defensive philosophy, and how much does that matter to what you are trying to do game in and game out?
Yeah, I think in general anything is when teams try and get into a shootout and win 4-3, it's not going to end well. Yeah, it's not going to end well, and I think. A very famous coach said once is defense wins championships, and that's the thing that we want to do. We want to be strong structurally and obviously going forward, score a lot more goals and create more chances, which is something that we want to do looking forward.
So when you're looking for goals, is that something that you believe that you can find, say, in the transfer portal?
Absolutely, yeah. We brought a couple of players in who were massive from the University of Tennessee and Texas A&M and bringing the majority of our goals back, like Samira Miner, who was an all-conference player last year. As a freshman, she scored 5 goals in conference. So bringing her back as well, hopefully we can add on to the tally and kind of keep on climbing the table.
Do you expect to make a big leap this next season in year 2, or is that too much to expect?
We are significantly better.
And what does that mean? What does that mean?
We have significantly better players in the way that we play in. Just come off the spring season, played 8 games, went 7-0-1, didn't concede a goal, and so it's exciting times. We're better. Whether that turns out to results, have to come see. We'll go.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is that going to mean for the conference table?
Yeah, I hope that we're in the NCAA tournament, but that's where we want them to be.
Ben, thank you so much. Ben Williams, the head soccer coach at the University of Houston. Thanks for joining us on Extra Time.
I appreciate it.
And now back to the arrivals. The world-famous orange bus, a piece of Dutch soccer tradition, as Ben mentioned, rolling through Galveston. It's followed the Netherlands national team for more than 2 decades. Arrived on the island back in May, before now heading to Dallas for the Dutch opener. The bus driver calling the crowds in the Houston area one happy family.
Yeah, in Houston, I think more people also behind the bus. And we have a lot of music, and everybody is dancing behind the bus in the parade, and it's so a big, yeah, it's one big family.
Our man there, Mr. Peters, he's been driving that bus for 22 years. Means he's navigated more traffic than most midfielders. Next, it's all about how the United States and its first match is going to go. How the Americans' previous outing could play a factor in tomorrow's game. One host country has started play, now 2 more to go. The U.S. has just over 24 hours remaining to prepare for its opening match. Jake Garriani tracking the build-up now for Paraguay from Irvine, California.
There will be familiarity for the United States. Incredibly enough, this U.S. men's national team has faced off against all 3 of its upcoming opponents in group play within nearly a year. Turkey back in June of 2025, Australia in October, and Paraguay in November. And if you remember that November match against Paraguay, it ended with flair and fireworks in stoppage time, a huge scuffle, something that will clearly be on the minds of the players headed into Friday's match.
We're going to the game with a lot of respect for Paraguay, and we know that they're going to be super, super aggressive, so we're going to have to match that. I mean, we saw that the last time we played them, and we're just going to have to stay focused. for the whole game. Yeah.
A really intense team, a team that fights, a team that's very direct, and things might change. They might play a little differently, and I think that's the beauty of playing a team twice. It becomes a little bit more of a difficult match.
Yeah, it'll definitely be scrappy. I think Paraguay is a team who likes to bring intensity. I thought it was a perfect game last November that we kind of played. Of course, we had our chances, we limited them, so I think we're kind of focused on that. We'll kind of touch up on things from that game that we need to work on, and we're pretty well prepared.
We bring the same mentality, the same hunger, the same fight, and at the end of the day, this game, you have to win. So for us, it'd be a good statement to win the first game of the group, but also, for the whole World Cup, it'd be good to start off with a win.
Being the host nation, there is a bit more extra pressure, but we'll take that in stride and hopefully, do what we're capable of doing.
This game sets the tone for the tournament.
Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium this Friday for that World Cup opening match. In Irvine, California with the United States men's national team, I'm Jake Garriani.
And now, cheers. Listen, it's not just shouting after a bad call or slapping hands with the dude next to you. It also means raising a drink at a bar with friends. Next, it's the game plan one local bar is working from to handle the soccer crowd. But first, time for some education on group play. Here's Joe Trahan.
The first stage is called the group stage. 48 teams are separated into 12 groups, and the 4 teams in each group will play a round robin. 3 matches in total, with the top 2 teams from each group advancing to the knockout stage. Now, 8 of the 12 third-place teams advance as well based on tiebreaker rankings. The group stage will run from June 11th to June 27th. A 32-team knockout stage will then follow, with matches spanning for 3 weeks, starting on June 28th, as they advance round by round to the final on July 19th.
Every World Cup needs a home base, and for thousands of fans, that home will be a local pub. Ron Trevino speaking with one bar owner and one bar manager about the crowds, the opportunity, and their plans for the month ahead.
Everybody's got World Cup fever, and that means big business for our local bars. Paul Redmond, owner of the New Potato. Chelsea Drummond, bar manager of our bar. Let's start with you, Paul. Now, when you hear a World Cup, what does that mean for you as a business owner?
Well, hopefully it'll be patrons through the door that actually love the game, just like we do.
That's what you're hoping for. That's what's going to happen. Come on, it's going to happen, right?
Atmosphere. Absolutely, World Cup fever.
And your location is going to be right outside downtown?
Just outside, 5 minutes from downtown, yeah.
So do you think you're going to get a lot of spillover of these fans coming to your place?
I hope so.
And what are you doing to try to get ready for this?
It's going to be all social media, word of mouth, pretty much. Everything's social media now, right?
Mm-hmm. Chelsea, our bar. So that is, it's not far from downtown.
No, we're right around the corner from downtown.
You're a bar manager, so bartenders, they're going to be making a lot of tips, they're hoping.
Well, we're hoping for money, but I don't think that that's, our biggest priority. It's like, once again, like Paul said, is atmosphere. We want people to come and to enjoy the sport together and have a place where they can just have fun and let loose, with everything that's going on.
I mean, a lot of people can't afford the tickets to go to the actual games. I'm sorry, matches. They're called matches, not games. Okay. So they're going to have to go to the sports bars, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully,
yeah.
So what do you do to prepare for that? Do you have like more screens up or what?
We have 11 TVs that are 11 TVs that wrap around the entire, circumference of the bar for the most part, and outside on a patio. We've hired extra staff to come through, and we're in preparation for getting hit pretty hard for it. We've been on the radar. We were just written up in Texas Monthly. They gave us a little shout out, which was really cool. And then Men in Blazers, if you look up on the Men in Blazers podcast and website, if you do a bar finder, we're the first bar that pops up.
So how has business been, and how important has the World Cup become? I mean, you hear about some businesses going out of business. You hear about a lot of local breweries that have now gone out of business because of the changing drinking habits in America.
Yes. Can I say something about that?
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely. The drinking culture has completely changed in Houston. Like from when we worked together, and the drinking culture was just out of this world, wasn't it? It was crazy.
It was.
And that's gone.
So do you think this could be a shot in the arm or a shot on the table?
I personally believe that it's going to be super helpful for any bar that's going to be showing the World Cup.
Yeah.
So let's look ahead. I mean, we're talking about the World Cup, but let's look like a year from now. What are the memories you're going to hope to make that you'll remember a year from now about the World Cup in Houston? Dollars.
I don't know. It's like, you know, I think a lot of people probably think that bar owners or managers and stuff it's all about the money. It's actually not. A lot of it is about keeping people in a job. A lot of it is about creating community, you know.
Yeah.
And like for me personally, when I walk around my bar, what I love to see is the people enjoying themselves more than anything, and that gives me a high.
That's what I'm the same with that. That's what I'm rooting for. I don't have a dog. There's 48 countries playing. I don't have a.
You don't have a dog in this
I don't have a dog in the fight. I mean, sure, but. And at the same time, I want all these people to be happy.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, my final question: do you call it football or soccer?
It's football. Sorry.
It's football.
Okay, I call it life. And that's the wrap. Okay, Paul Redmond, the new potato. Chelsea Drummond from our bar. We will visit these establishments throughout the World Cup. Thanks for joining us. Jason,
Absolutely.
back to you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Very interesting discussion from the three of you. As you can see, a giant line was wrapping around the Fan Fest earlier, but right here, this is a live look as things are still very active here on day one. And now, as promised, here's how it looked earlier. This was the line. And it was long. A lot of Mexico jerseys as well to support Mexico prior to that first win of the group stage. The Space Cowboys are all in when it comes to the World Cup, with two special promotions from the Astros AAA team. On Friday, soccer balls, a baseball soccer ball being handed out. Then on Saturday, it is Space Cowboys soccer jerseys for the first 2,000 fans. And the judges here at KHOU11 giving high marks to the Space Cowboys for that look because it's really nice. In fact, so nice, I was going to bring one down and I think someone took it from me. Anyhow, that's going to do it for Extra Time. We'll see you again tomorrow night on the free KHOU11 streaming app. Until then, let's take one last look at Edo Pitch 25 as fans are getting ready for the next game.